Welcome to Phantom Tales from Vietnam, where spine-chilling spiritual stories are retold, inspired by real-life experiences. Today, we invite you to listen to a tale about the consequences of disrespecting the sacred, a prank that led a group of friends to face a terrifying price. With all section titles removed and the text presented as one continuous, seamless narrative. It was a scorching summer in the Southwest. The sun blazed from morning to dusk, and even freshly washed clothes would be soaked with sweat again in no time. Back then, I Hung was a junior in high school, living with my parents in a small village by the river. Life passed by peacefully, filled with school, innocent teenage mischief, and afternoons spent skipping class to go fishing or chasing grasshoppers in the fields. Near our school, there was an old shrine called Ba Shrine, hidden behind a thick bamboo grove, about 100 meters from the main road. The shrine was run down, its roof tiles cracked and broken, moss growing over every surface. Yet people in the area still came to light incense regularly. Adults warned us never to play around there. Anyone passing by would instinctively bow or clasp their hands in respect, even if just briefly. But kids are curious, especially when told not to do something. The more forbidden a place was, the more we wanted to see it. I had 3 close friends: Trung, the boldest of the group; Thang, quick-witted and sharp-tongued; and Long, quiet and reserved, but no less impulsive. One afternoon, after a tutoring session, they invited me to check out the shrine. Thang said he'd heard some ghost stories about it and wanted to see if it's real. I hesitated. Something felt off. But when they teased me for being scared, I went along. The shrine sat quietly beneath the shade of an ancient Bodhi tree. A strong breeze blew, yet a chill crept down my spine. Trung, as usual, led the way. He boldly stepped inside, climbed onto the altar, pointed at the statue of Ba, and shouted, "If you're real, then show yourself. Otherwise, it's just gossip." I turned pale. Long was already frozen at the entrance, visibly shaking. Thang forced a grin, but his face had lost all color. Trung then stuck incense upside down and threw the altar cloth to the ground. Suddenly, a cold wind whipped through the air. Everything fell silent. No birds, no rustling leaves. Trung paused for a few seconds, then burst out laughing. "See? Nothing happened. You scaredy cats!" I grabbed his arm, urging him to leave. I promised myself that would be the last time I ever stepped foot near that shrine. That night, I couldn't sleep. I dreamt I was standing in front of the shrine. A woman in a long white dress, hair covering her face, stood with her back to me. I called out, but she didn't respond. When she finally turned around, her face was a horrifying blank slate. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. I screamed myself awake. The next morning, I heard that Trung had come down with a terrible fever. He was delirious, sweating nonstop, muttering things like, "I'm sorry, please forgive me." He kept crying out, "She's standing there. She has no face." Doctors couldn't find anything wrong. His vitals were normal, but it was as if something had taken over him. In just a few days, his body withered and his skin turned pale. Long started experiencing strange events too. He said that during the night, he felt paralyzed in bed and saw a shadowy figure sitting at the foot of his mattress. He tried to move, but couldn't. When he finally managed to turn on the light, no one was there. Thang told us that whenever he passed by the shrine, he'd hear someone calling his name in a raspy, echoing voice, like it was coming from underground. All 3 of them were shaken. As for me, I hadn't experienced anything physical yet, but I constantly felt uneasy, as though someone was watching me. Trung's mother tried everything: temples, hospitals, traditional medicine, but nothing helped. Finally, someone recommended a spiritual master from deep in the U Minh forest, known for banishing evil spirits. The master agreed to come. As soon as he arrived at Trung's house, he stopped at the gate and said, "There's heavy resentment in this place, not from a human, but from a spirit who's been severely offended." He began a ritual, sprinkling salt and rice, lighting incense, and placing talismans on each corner of the room. That night, Trung slept soundly for the first time in days. But the next morning, the master called us all in and asked, "Which of you disrespected Ba's shrine?" We were silent. Trung broke down crying and confessed everything. The master's face turned grave. That shrine was built to honor a woman who died unjustly. She hanged herself during the war and became a guardian spirit. When someone disrespects her shrine, She follows them and demands repentance. He said there was only one way to fix this. We had to return to the shrine, perform a proper apology ceremony, and sincerely ask for forgiveness. Only then could the spirit let go. That night, under the pale moonlight, the four of us returned to the shrine with our parents and the master. Trung knelt before the altar, bowing 100 times while reciting a heartfelt apology. The master chanted, burned talismans, and sprinkled holy water around the area. As the ceremony progressed, a sudden windstorm whipped through the trees, howling like a scream. From within the shrine came the unmistakable sound of a woman crying, soft at first, then louder and clearer. Everyone heard it, but the master told us not to be afraid and to continue. He lit the final talisman and shouted, "If there is injustice, accept this apology and find peace." The wind stopped instantly. Silence returned. After that night, Trung slowly recovered. Thung and Long stopped experiencing strange encounters. And from then on, whenever I passed by the shrine, I made sure to bow respectfully, never daring to look inside again. We all grew up and went our separate ways. But I'll never forget the lesson we learned. When it comes to the spiritual world, respect is everything. Some things are unseen, unheard, but they are always there. Never mock the sacred, even in jest. You never know what might be listening. Thank you for listening to today's story on Phantom Tales from Vietnam. We hope it reminded you of the importance of respecting the spiritual world. Don't forget to follow and stay tuned for more mysterious, chilling, and haunting tales to come. See you next time.